Welcome into Rockets Today, presented by Prize Picks. I am your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and coming up on today's show, we've got some major injury updates around some of the top superstars in this round one matchup between your Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Lakers. Game 2 is tomorrow night, 9:30 Central Time. I'll be live here on the channel. Yes, I know it's super late, but yes, I will still be live here on the channel, breaking down this entire game and everything you need to know between the Houston Rockets and the LA Lakers. And on today's show, we have injury updates around Kevin Durant, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reaves, because all three of these guys were practicing today. I'll tell you at what capacity and if we could expect three of these guys, if all three of them, or maybe just one of them, could return tomorrow night. First, let's talk about the guy that we all want to know as Houston Rockets fans. It is Kevin Durant. This is what Charania had to say on his injury. Kevin Durant's status for Game 2 is up in the air. My understanding is Kevin Durant is dealing with a deep bruise in his right patellar tendon. The Rockets, they're optimistic that Kevin Durant is going to be able to return as soon as Game 2, but it remains to be seen. His status is up in the air, according to Shams Charania. Now, Kevin Durant has been practicing the past couple of days, shooting around, not putting intense work on that knee, but still he's been out, he's been putting shots up, he has been practicing, and I do think if he's close to at least 90-95%, he's going to try to give it a go, because Game 2, you don't want to go down 0-2 in a best-of-7 series. You want to at least be able to claim home court and regain that by taking a game away from the Lakers at the Crypto.com arena. Now, I want to know from you folks at home, what is your panic level if Kevin Durant is out for Game 2? Scale it 1 to 10. 1, you're all good. If Kevin Durant sits, you think the Rockets are still fine. 10, you are slamming the panic button if Kevin Durant isn't able to go on Tuesday. I'm at about an 8. I'm panicking if he's not able to go, and especially if the Rockets can't turn things around. Now, you could say a lot of things. Game 1, the Lakers had a generational, shooting percentage, shooting above 60% from the field, above 50% from three-point range. The Rockets, their stars didn't really show out as much as they would have loved to. Amen Thompson, Alperen Sengun didn't have their best games. Role players weren't hitting their shots. Reed Shepherd missed a couple threes here and there. Jabari Smith Jr. played decent, but not as well as we would have liked. But there is hope that Kevin Durant is going to be able to give it a go tomorrow. This from Will Guillory. Kevin Durant is here getting shots up after Rockets practice today in LA. Looks like he has some tape on his right knee. I did look. He had like the KT tape, wrapped around his knee. Appears to be moving around much better than he was a few nights ago. So obviously we saw that Durant was, working out before that Game 1 up against the LA Lakers, and him and the medical staff decided he wasn't going to play in that Game 1. We'll see about Game 2 tomorrow night. Like I said, he has been working out. He has been practicing, and people are hopeful that he is going to be able to return for the Rockets in Game 2, because if he's out on the court, it is a completely different Rockets squad. We saw the offense was not the same. This team was not the same without KD. Hopefully, he's able to give it a go in Game 2. We have more injury updates coming up in just a moment, but I couldn't do today's show if it wasn't for our friends over at Prize Picks. I have a lineup for you tomorrow night, so stay tuned for that. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. The playoffs are here for basketball and hockey. Baseball, it's in full swing, so it's the best place to cash in on all the sports action with our friends over at Prize Picks, America's #1 sports pick app, and the best place to cash in while watching live sports. The app is super simple and user-friendly. Just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. For example, for tomorrow night, I'm going with a more simple lineup. I got Alpi on the points, Jabari on three-pointers made, because I really think if the Rockets, if they want to win, they really need Jabari to pull through. And then I got LeBum, less on his points, 24.5. I think if all three of these things happen, Houston fans will be very happy tomorrow night. You can copy my lineup with the new social feeds feature over there on Prize Picks. You can copy friends' lineups as well. Give everybody a follow with a single click. That includes me and producer Reed if you follow us on Prize Picks. You can tail our picks or fade them and get the picks before they even get posted here on the show. For new users, we have an offer for you. Download the Prize Picks app today with the link in the comments and description and use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All that information down in the comments and description of today's show. Go check them out, our friends over there at Prize Picks. All right, we are talking more injury news. This coming in from Dave McMenamin. It's been really nice. He definitely rebounded and passed on some shooting drills. Having the group together 2 out of the last 3 days has been really nice. Now, this was a quote that Dave McMenamin grabbed from Lakers head coach J.J. Redick on having Luka Doncic back at practice. There was a video attached to this with Luka and Austin Reaves shooting around, shooting at practice. And that leads to the question, could Luka Doncic potentially return this series and turn it on its head? Because we've all been talking about the difference that KD would make if he came back for this Houston Rockets and this Rockets offense. You had Luka Doncic back to this Lakers team. He averaged 33.5 points per game this year, 7.7 rebounds, 8.3 assists. Yeah, that is a massive addition to this Lakers squad, and I think would be bad news for your Houston Rockets if he's able to give it a go. And as I mentioned, not only him, but also Austin Reaves was out there practicing. They were both putting up shots. This from my guy Pro Football Doc on X, Mr. Dr. David J. Chow. He said Kevin Durant will play on Tuesday. KD will return before Luka does. In my opinion, Austin Reaves will also return before Luka does. So his medical opinion, talking about what he's seen from these guys in different videos, different reports. Dr. David J. Chow says we should be okay with Kevin Durant, and it looks like he'll be able to give it a go. For Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves, though, if they, I don't think they'll try to push it tomorrow, but if this Lakers squad pushes it to 6-7 games, I think there's a decent chance that one, if not both of these guys, could return for the Lakers. So that's why it's imperative that Kevin Durant returns for game 2, because if you can try to close this out in 5 or 6 games, if you're the Houston Rockets, that's best case scenario. Because if you dabble into getting into a game 6, game 7, then that opens the door for the return of Luka Doncic. Now, if you want to keep up with everything going on around the Houston Rockets, you can give me a follow on X at Jeremy Chuggs. I'm always tweeting about this team. And then if you not already, hit that subscribe button. Me and producer Reed have you covered with everything you need to know around the Houston Rockets. This is your one-stop shop for everything around the Rockets all year long.